Dave of the Desert here. I thought I would review this because I friggin' love the first Devil Wears Prada. I don't care if I'm a guy, straight, gay, whatever. Girls movie, no, it's not. It's a very entertaining, well done movie. So they brought it back 20 years, and I just saw it. So I wanted to give my fans, my people that watch my channel, my review because I friggin' love this movie, and I'm an actor myself, and I know when it's good. So, when I went in this movie, I said, how the hell are they going to bring these characters together in a meaningful, interesting way to the audience without being forced, right? How do they do that? And I must say, director David Frankel, producer Wendy Fitterman back again, and written by Aline Brosh McKenna, they all worked beautifully to create a really good story that made a lot of sense in 2026, given the economy, given how uncertainty of everything is, given the death of magazines, if you will. And this movie, brings the cast back. Again, Meryl Streep did a fantastic job with Anne Hathaway, who is the heart and soul of the movie, with Emily Blunt, who stays in character as a bitchy wannabe fashion icon, was trying to be, getting a job at Gucci in this movie. And then Justin Theroux, Kenneth Branagh have some bit parts. Stanley Tucci, once again, solid, very convincible. And Lady Gaga, in an appropriate role, has a good appearance late in the movie at a fashion show, and that is like perfect casting, and it adds a lot of panache to the movie. But so the movie again starts, again like the first one. There's some similar stuff. They kept some similar scenes when Anne Hathaway brushes her teeth to open the movie. It's familiar, but in a way, it's familiar is good because it does bring us back to that time. You can kind of compare it and get with the characters again, and it's shot very similar in a beautiful way. Cinematography is outstanding. The fashion scenes are really well done. But once again, Anne Hathaway, again, has something bad happen to her. Again, you want to root for her throughout the movie because she basically gets laid off within 30 seconds of the movie. And that starts a chain reaction of how she comes to Runway and getting help from Stanley Tucci. And then, the magazine is in dire straits. So Meryl Streep, not quite the Iron Maiden of the first one, a bit of a chink in her armor. And that's actually refreshing because it is an uncertain time. And you can't live this way forever, and things change. So they did really a good job adapting the change that's happened in the industry and society, for that matter, 20 years later, with Devil Wears Prada 2. And I can say the characters are quite good. Anne Hathaway, always solid, really good role. She does get to the magazine as a feature editor. They need help. Bad news came out with Miranda Priestley's character, and they were going to go pretty much under and lose all their advertisers. So it's a really good premise as they go back to the advertisers to try to salvage it. Anne Hathaway writes a beautiful apology mentioning Meryl Streep, that were accused of slave labor in the manufacturing of the fashion clothes. And it's really well done. They go to, and who's in charge of the first advertiser? They go Emily Blunt. So it brings back the characters in an interesting twist. And then Stanley Tucci, always solid. He has stayed with Runway all these years, never quite got the credit he deserved. And then he does a nice twist at the end when they kind of usurp the plot that Emily Blunt's husband wants to buy the magazine and get rid of them all. And they somehow conjure up a plan where they save the magazine. So it's really well done. It's really well done. Beautiful scenery. They go to Italy, a much bigger budget, and that is noticeable. The scenes in New York City are outstanding. Cinematography, the writing incorporates New York City in a great way. Yeah, it's a bit homogenized, if you will, not quite the grittiness, but it's still well done. You want to see New York City with the drone footage. It's excellent. They go to Italy, Lake Como, quite beautiful. They go to Milan for the fashion show sequence, quite entertaining. So it really comes together where you care about the characters, and they all kind of come together and show their better side. So it is a wonderful movie. I was surprised. I thought I wouldn't like it as much as the first one. But Devil Wears Prada is its own movie in its own right, but picks off where the story left off, but in a very meaningful, interesting, and relevant way. So thumbs up for Devil Wears Prada 2. DOD, really enjoyed it. Go see it. I love that movie to death, and they did a really good job creating their own separate movie using some of the elements of the first movie in a beautiful, seamless way that kept your interest for 2 hours. Definitely. Good movie. Dave of the Desert, please subscribe to my channel. I try to bring you current events, movie reviews, acting, whatever I can conjure up in this dark time to bring you some cheer and some light. Thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye.